So please welcome Angelina Jolie. So good to see you. Now, people seeing this movie are going to assume that you took on the role because of your involvement with the UN, but it's really the other way around. In doing the movie, you decided to get involved with children in the UN. Is that right?
I read the script about 5 years ago, and at that time I didn't know much about events in the world and what was happening in other countries and aid relief, and the film didn't go at that time, and I realized that I could just, as a woman, as a human being, I could take that journey and figure out what it was. So I started traveling, and my life changed, and I joined the UN, and then 2 years later, this film came back around.
In the film, there's some pretty horrific scenes. I mean, you see children who are starving to death. It's very, very powerful. So what message are you trying to get out to the public who sees it?
God, I think we are so fortunate in this country, and I didn't know, I wasn't taught in school, and I don't see in the headline news the things I think we should all be really aware of. And I was traveling, so I think we should, you know, not forget the majority of people in the world that are suffering through
The
these
extent
things.
of it.
And everybody can do something. You really can. I mean, you don't have to be an actor. You don't have to be. I met these amazing people in the field who are, you know, all different ages, from 25 to 65, who are hanging out and doing nothing but helping people, and that's all they do in their lives.
You can give money to UNICEF. I do that. I mean, that's one way to help, is to just give some money to UNICEF.
Yeah, and just to educate yourself and make sure that your children are aware of what's happening, that your children care about what's happening to other children in other countries, and that everybody has something to contribute.
People should actually remember that at Halloween. That's a big collection time for UNICEF with the little kids going out.
Speaking of children, we're going to talk about your little one, Maddox, which I know you'll always get a smile on your face the first time we talk about him. Now, when you were filming, Angelina, he was 7 months old, and you were in Thailand and in Africa filming. So how was it to have a baby, little infant, with you on the road like that?
It was so strange, because being an adoptive mother, you don't have 9 months and then give birth. I went to the airport in the middle of Africa, and suddenly was handed my son, and had this amazing evening sitting by myself in this rented place, trying to figure out how to change a diaper and how to do all these things, and I was scared to death, and
it had to be overwhelming.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. I have a 7-week-old, and being a mother, you're fumbling through every minute, and then you're just thinking, oh my God, I'm going to kill this child.
Yeah, no, I did. Well, I relied on a lot of the women, a lot of the local women, a lot of the women on set to help me kind of.
Well, even I'm sure the women in these countries, in Africa and Thailand, raise their children so differently than we do here in the United States. So here you are. Did you learn from these women?
I did. I learned so much from them. I think that the greatest gift I had, because my child came home in an area where we couldn't get a bunch of stuff. We couldn't get a bunch of toys and a bunch of... So I put a sling on, and we found fruit on the trees, and they had very basic toys and very basic things, and
so different from what it would have been like in Hollywood.
Yeah, and by the time I got back months later, suddenly there were all these things I was handed that I needed for my child, and he didn't need any of it anymore. Really, they're stronger than we think they are, kids, and he's taught me quite a lot.
You know, Access Hollywood recently did a piece about the bad girls of Hollywood, and you were considered a bad girl gone good. Now, are you glad, or would you rather be the bad girl, you know?
I know what that means, coming from Access Hollywood. I don't know. I think I'm still I don't know. My mother would say she wasn't a bad girl. She is. I think I'm growing up, and I'm learning about the life, and I'm becoming more responsible, and I'm becoming a more useful human being to other people. You know, I have a sense of purpose, but I'm still completely out of my mind at times, and wild and fun, and you know, I think I'm finding that balance. And
Your life is, the way I understand your life, you're in Cambodia one day, then you're in the Congo, then you're in Chechnya, then you're walking the red carpet for a movie premiere. I mean, your life is very interesting and very... Do you say to yourself, where am I sometimes? Does it get overwhelming?
I've come to realize that the places, I've learned the most when I've traveled to these places and spent time with people in these other countries, just because they're so connected to family and spirituality and life and each other and survival. And then when I come back and have to do something on the red carpet, I just know that that's not the real life.
Is it so fun to do that for you? Is it fun?
Sure, it can be, and it's also a means to an end to be here and be able to speak about things. And also, I love making films, and I love being an actor.
It's part of the thing.
We have a good
It's
perspective.
all right.
It's part of growing up, as you said. So.
Yeah.
Well, when we come back, we're going to find out, oh, this is good, if Angelina has had sex since the last time she talked to Barbie. I know. Stick around. We want to know, so we'll find out. We'll be right back.
Are you going to tell me where we're going?
Place near Thailand, by the border.
On the boat's the best way to travel.
You don't know my boat?
I think it's very you.
We're back with the lovely Angelina Jolie. I love that Clive Owens.
I do,
I'm a
too.
big fan of British television, and he does great mysteries. I understand he might be up for the next James Bond and everything.
Yeah, and I think he should be. Clive is the man in this film, and he is. I don't think we've had a really great, strong leading man like this in a long time. I think
He's remarkable.
rare. And he's a great guy, great family man, 2 kids, wife. He's lovely.
And in this film, he plays a doctor who is also committed to humanitarian causes. Is that the kind of guy you would like? Would you like him? Yeah. Especially if he's as cute as that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you looking for that kind of a guy? Nice guy.
I do. A nice guy. Yeah.
A good guy.
I've come to believe that I think love, the love story in this film, I think is beautiful because what these two do for each other is they inspire each other to become better people, but not just in that kind of corny way. They really open up each other's eyes and they inspire each other to broaden their view on the world and what they do in their lives. So I would love to find that kind of love. I haven't had that kind of love that inspires me to be so much better than I actually am.
But you're not willing to get married again, are you? I read that you don't see yourself in the institution of marriage again.
Institution is the key word.
No, not for everybody.
It's tough now having Maddox. I don't have a father for him that goes away. So I'm a bit terrified of that.
Yeah. Have you had sex? I'm just curious because you...
Yes, we have.
You did, finally. Because you had told Barbara you hadn't had it in a year. And
I haven't.
But you have.
But you've had since?
With a guy?
That's great.
So you got somebody to call you after the interview? You said you'd have some call or
Breaking
something?
news. I finally got my sex life back. No,
Look at you what Sar Jones tells you to do. Mind your own business.
You can answer that question that way. You're all right to say it.
It's just I'm not looking for a relationship because a real heavy relationship because I just want to focus on my son. But it was nice after a long time just being a mom to feel like a woman for an evening. So.
I make it jealous and go back because we were talking in the commercial. You live in England and in Cambodia, where Maddox is originally from. Interestingly enough, you don't feel any drive to raise Maddox here in the U.S., especially out in La La Land, do you?
No, especially not in LA. I certainly don't want him to grow up in a place where being an actor is important, where celebrity is important. I just think that's really unhealthy, and especially for him. And I just think living in Europe, we travel to Africa a lot, we travel to Asia a lot, and I think he'll just get a real sense of the world entire living there. So.
And speaking of your travels, you've kept a journal of your travels that was just published that says that you ate bugs, cockroaches, beetles. Is this an acquired taste?
Do they taste like chicken?
Some.
And why?
Beetles taste like chicken.
It's part of Cambodia. It's part of their little push carts with lots of different bugs cooked in different ways. But
It's the new sushi.
It's also an interesting thing because these are people who, not to get too heavy, but these are people that were really starved also because of Pol Pot, and they had to learn how to survive. So they found these amazing ways to, whether it's lighting fires under beehives and collecting every single thing inside them, or cooking bugs. They found food everywhere, and somehow it's maintained a part of their diet. So for that also, it's just
You really immersed yourself in your son's heritage then.
Yeah.
And learning so much about
I plan to learn how to cook crickets and cockroaches.
Are you going to feed that to him in English?
Actually.
I know that you're working on a film, Alexander, with Colin Farrell right now. You play Alexander the Great Mother.
Yes. I knew this would come around.
would come to this. I'm sure Alexander the Great had a gorgeous mother if they asked you to do it. But what's he like? Is he a wackadoo? Tell us.
I actually think he's lovely. I mean, I just saw him for rehearsals, and it was a few days after his son was born, and all he could talk about was being a dad. So he's like a crazy, happy dad.
Yeah, like the other one, too. I mean, you're working with all these great guys. Clive Owen, Colin Farrell. It's a great career you're having.
With the men?
You're enjoying your life so much, it
Yeah,
seems.
no, I've been very, very lucky with the projects and the people I've gotten to work with.
And I was telling her before during the break that she's the new Audrey Hepburn because Audrey committed herself to the UN also and did wonderful things
I
before
think
she
she's
died.
an amazing woman, and even at this smallest comparison is a little bit.
No, but there was a void, and I think that you're filling it.
Which is a wonderful thing. So that takes us to, gosh, this is Barbara Walters' question.
Oh, good.
10 years. Where do you see yourself? Are you still the one that's doing the pictures? Are you
In 10 years?
actress? Are
I'll be
you focusing on
38.
You know, that was not very nice. No, we're teasing you.
I'm looking forward to getting
What do you
older.
think? You want more
I think I'll
children?
definitely have many, many more children from all around the world, and probably be working a lot less in film. And God, Matt will be 11 or 12. I don't know.
He'll be smiling.
Yeah, just traveling and being with children and working and doing projects 11. You know, kind of the same I'm doing now, just doing it better.
You think you'll be moving more towards humanitarian work and basically giving back to our world community?
Yeah, I'd love to. I mean, I think hopefully I'd love to adopt children from around the world and have a base in each of their homes and just somehow have the United Nations in my house.
You give so much to charity right now. A third of your profits you give away, don't you?
I give as much as I make. You know, to be an actor, I love acting. We make a lot of money, and I think anybody that makes, you don't have to live on that money, so it's not a big deal to give it away. I think I would feel really horrible if I didn't.
So how many kids are you going to get now? How many kids?
I don't know. I keep saying a small football team.
So not
I
just-
don't know. Mad's a toddler now, and I'm not doing.
That's a hard time to think of others.
Well, you're not just Audrey Hepburn, you're also Mia Farrow. But you're the most delightful Angelina Jolie. So thanks very much for coming on the show. Beyond Borders opens nationwide today. We'll be right back.